Hi, I'm Duncan from Fishhead, and today we're talking about the FCL Labo UCB-85 Stickbait. So this is continuing on with our theme of reviewing some of the bigger P8 to 10 rods, and this is definitely one of the longer ones that we've tested at 8'5". It's also in the FCL Labo range. It's the most stickbait oriented of all. They even wrote this time, they call it a stickbait rod. Well, the others, yeah, they don't really say, but this one definitely is more the stickbait end of the spectrum. It's designed for a cast weight of around 90 through to 190 grams and is rated as a P8 to 10 rod. They give it a max drag rating of 16 kilos, so definitely plenty of beef in the bottom end of the blank. Component-wise, like all the FCL rods, really good high density EVA. You've got top of the line Fuji reel seats with locking ring, stainless frame silicon MNSG guides, so the heavy duty guides, using those all the way through to the tip with a minimum size of number 16. So you can get all the biggest leaders and leader knots through the guides with ease. Action wise, this one is a lot more moderate compared to many of the FCL rods. So typical things that people say when they pick up FCL rods is that they're very crisp and responsive and typically on the stiffer end of the spectrum. This one would be the exception. It is a lot softer in the tip, still is nice and responsive. You know, it comes back from bent to straight relatively quickly, but certainly you can feel that nice elastic springiness through the tip section, and that elasticity and flex works its way down through the middle, and then once you get down to that bottom end, the bottom two guides, then everything really ramps up. So you've got a much softer, more moderate tip section that then goes into a good, powerful bottom end lifting section. Casting wise with this rod, being a longer rod at 8'5", definitely makes it easy to cast good distances with minimum of effort. I don't always find that long rods cast much further, but they certainly allow you to get a good distance without putting so much effort into it, which is, yeah, really nice for long casting sessions. With the weights on this rod, we did cast it up to 210 grams, which is 20 grams over what the stated maximum is. It handled it, but certainly I would be ideally knocking back the weights a bit to keep that total weight of lure and hooks in under that, you know, around that 180 to 190 maximum. It's going to be much happier. But at the other end, it did down to say 90 grams really nicely, so no trouble with punching out the smaller lures. Okay, at 8'5", this one makes for nice, easy casting. Definitely the longer length helps a lot. It's also got a more moderate taper at the tip here, so I can feel the stickbait is super easy to swim and just getting a nice S-shape action wiggling along, but the rod's not giving it quite such an aggressive darting action, but just easy. So definitely the length and the more moderate taper allow this super nice S-shaped swimming action of the stickbait. All right, working the declaw bubbles on this rod, getting nice steady action, pulling a good bubble trail through the water. Good swimming action, but again, with the more moderate taper, not quite as aggressive darting action on this style of rod, but definitely easy just to swim and easy to work. Good steady S-shape action. Okay, so with the Master Bomb Big Cup 170, definitely throwing it for the weight, so that definitely we can cast that kind of weight on this rod. It handles the 210 grams
total weight, okay. It's definitely, you can feel it's at the top end of its comfort weight, but if you just give it a good hefty swing, it still gets it out there no trouble. As for working the popper, no, it's definitely not suited to working giant poppers, but we already knew that. So I would say if you wanted to throw a 170 gram stick bait on this rod, go right ahead. It's going to sit with the hooks, it's going to sit right at the top end of the weight. But if you want to use poppers on this kind of softer rod, I'd be keeping them down around the 110, 120 gram mark.
Okay, so this FCL 85, you can see straight away with its more moderate taper, it's got that longer tip that folds away very quickly, takes you down to the midsection quite fast, and it's also taking away from that, allowing that tip to fold away. I also need to pick up a bit of line till you get into the midsection there. And I'd say that 14 kilo weight's about as heavy as you'd want to go. Okay, so to summarise the FCL UCB-85 stick bait, it's a longer and softer rod than many in this kind of range, and it's ideal for a range of stick baits in particular, but it can also pull some small cup poppers through the water. Not perfect for poppers, but yeah, with the smaller cups, it's going to work fine. Just don't expect miracles from any larger cups. Where it really shines is pulling floating stick baits through the water. That longer, moderate tip and nice elastic spring is what really makes it easy just to get the nose of the floating stick baits under and let them do their thing, just swimming that nice S-shape action. So yeah, challenging stick baits and ease of use for all day casting is definitely strong points there. As far as lifting goes, it works great, I think, with PE 8 to 10. It lifted the 14 kilo weight fine. It wouldn't want to go much bigger than that, but that kind of weight worked fine on it. And it was not too bad as far as effort, because the long tip section does fold away quite nicely, leaving you with a reasonable length lifting section of the rod, so it doesn't hurt the back too much. The great strength of this rod is its length. Makes it very easy to cast long distances. Also, that's its biggest limitation. When you're in some smaller boats and you're close to the water, the long length might see you slapping the water every time you sweep the stick bait, and that can be rather annoying. But also in bigger boats or boats with a bit higher casting deck, it gives you lots of room to be able to cast long distances easily and sweep the lures with minimal effort. Likewise, the length means it does cross over pretty well into casting off the shore. So if you're looking for a rod that can do stick baits, shore-based, boat-based, wherever, then this is a great one to look at. Okay, thanks very much for watching. We'll be back next week with another rod review.